Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please rise and remove your hats. Presenting our colors tonight is the Joint Service Honor Guard. Let's give a warm welcome to Golden Globe and Grammy Award-winning artist Queen Latifah, joined by the Jubilation Choir, and concluding with a flyover by 3 Black Hawk helicopters.
The way we'll get it started in 2012. One of the big stories all week was Jason Witten playing for the Cowboys. You saw a shot of him during the national anthem, so you know the answer. For more on that, let's go to Michelle.
Yeah, it was just 24 days ago, Al, that Witten suffered a lacerated spleen against the Raiders. So yesterday he flew to New York early, ahead of the rest of his teammates, for a final CT scan. And today he was medically cleared to play. He told me earlier he feels great. He's going to wear protective padding over the area as a precaution. He also told me this isn't about him trying to be a hero. This is about being a team leader and playing in games when they matter. Now, there were reports coming out earlier today that suggested that he offered to sign a legal waiver absolving the Cowboys of any responsibility, medically or otherwise, if they let him play no matter what. Now, both Witten and the Cowboys have denied those reports. So Witten is back, Al, but Pro Bowl nose tackle Jay Ratliff did not make the trip. He is out with a high left ankle sprain.
All right, thank you, Michelle. And that is very significant for Jason Garrett's team as he begins his second full season. Tom Coughlin, 2 Super Bowls on his resume right now, and he will send his rookie, David Wilson, the #1 draft choice, back to receive the opening kickoff. The Giants won the toss, elected to take the ball. Wilson picked in the first round, the 32nd and last pick in the round. And Dan Bailey, who had a great year as the Cowboys place kicker and kickoff man, sends the 2012 season underway. And from about 5 yards in, here comes the rookie Wilson. And his debut is a run back to the 16-yard line, tackled by Andre Holmes. And let's meet the Giants.
Eli Manning, Ole Miss.
Ahmad Bradshaw, Marshall.
Henry Hainosky, Pittsburgh.
Hakeem Nicks, North Carolina.
Victor Cruz, Massachusetts.
Martellus Bennett, Texas A&M.
Sean Locklear, NC State.
Kevin Booth,
Cornell.
David Boss, Michigan.
Chris Snee, Boston College.
Dave Deal, University of Chief Illinois.
And a lot to talk about on the line in the backfield. Brandon Jacobs is gone. He goes to San Francisco. They have the rookie Wilson as the second teamer, and Bradshaw now clearly number one. Ahmad Bradshaw, the ace back on this set. Play action on the first play of the season and going deep down the left sideline. And doesn't that look familiar? Intended for Hakeem Nicks. So kind of the way they closed out the Super Bowl with a deep pass down the left sideline to Manningham. They go the same direction here, incomplete.
Didn't take long to go after the rookie, did it? Morris Claiborne on the outside and man-to-man coverage. Hakeem Nicks coming off that foot injury. Really, safety over the top helped, so I was a little surprised that Eli tried to throw that one in there. I think he just sort of threw that one out of bounds on purpose.
2nd and 10 now at the 16. Nicks had foot surgery, a broken foot, limited in preseason, but in there starting tonight. And Manning to put it up again if he can under pressure, and it's a short pass caught at the 20-yard line by Victor Cruz as we take a look at the Dallas starters.
Kenyon Coleman, UCLA.
Josh Brent, Illinois.
Jason Hatcher, Grambling State.
Anthony Spencer, Purdue.
Bruce Carter, North Carolina.
Sean Lee, Penn State.
DeMarcus Ware, Troy University.
Brandon Carr, Grand Valley State.
Barry Church, Toledo.
Gerald Sensabaugh, North Carolina. Morris Claiborne, LSU.
Where the main man, 99.5 career sacks, but keep your eye on Josh Brent supplanting Ratliff in the middle. 3rd down and 6 now. From the 20. Here they come on the corner blitz, and they pick it up, and the pass is incomplete. It's thrown behind Victor Cruz. So the Giants begin the season with a 3-and-out.
A little bit behind, but this is certainly a play that Victor Cruz, for the season that he had a season ago, you expect to make every time, really right there on the money. And Cowboys defensively get off the field with a 3-and-out right away. That has to make them feel a little better.
Steve Weatherford will send it Des Bryant's way. Bryant, who played very sparingly in preseason because of knee issues, always a threat, trying to turn the corner, and he will, but he'll run out of room at the 26-yard line. And now the Dallas Cowboys coming out onto the field. Let's take a look.
Tony Romo, Eastern Illinois University.
DeMarco Murray, Oklahoma. Holmes Vickers, Colorado.
Dez Bryant, Oklahoma State.
Miles Austin, Monmouth University.
Jason Witten, Tennessee.
Ty Smith, USC.
Nate Livings, LSU.
Phil Costa, Maryland.
Mackenzie Bernardo, Bentley.
Doug Free, Northern Illinois.
2 new guards, and they move Smith from right tackle to left tackle. And their first play from scrimmage is a DeMarco Murray run up the middle. He came on with a splash last year, started as a backup to Felix Jones, and before the season was done, he was number 1, but then he broke his ankle against the Giants in early December.
Jason Witten right here. Let's see how healthy he looks. Has not practiced hardly at all. Almost no contact to speak of since the injury. And he is a key component if they're going to get this running game going, which against the Giants you have to do to slow down the pass rush.
They played very little with Austin and with Bryant as well, and barely with Witten. Not at all after the Oakland preseason game. 2nd down and 7, and Romo gets sacked. That's Rocky Bernard. So on a team with Tuck and Pierre Paul and Hugh Manura and all of the other guys who can knock you down, it's Rocky Bernard who gets the Giants' first sack of the season.
And Mackenzie Bernardo, who they spent the money on to try and upgrade this offensive line, and Rocky Bernard's not exactly known as the great pass rusher for the Giants. Not a great start there for the newcomer, Bernardo.
Now Felix Jones comes into the game, the 3rd down back. It's 3rd and 15. From the 19-yard line, the Giants with a 4-man front and a 4-man rush. And Romo has to settle underneath, and it's incomplete. Juggled and not caught by Jones. So 4th and 15, and each team begins 2012 3-and-out.
Well, you get the feeling that maybe both these teams a little nervous starting out. Look, just a bit uncomfortable. I'm sure they'll get settled down here, but huge rivalry, national television, and this has not been a smooth start.
Here is Chris Jones who took over as the punter at the end of last season for Matt McBriar, and the left-footed kicker bombs one as Hexon goes back, hauls it in at the 21-yard line. A penalty flag is thrown. He was very close to being out of bounds to begin with, and with the replacement refs working the game, we have a flag down at the 26-yard line. It's a 60-yard boot. So your replacement referee tonight, the man making the calls, will be one Jim Core, who's been officiating for 29 years, mainly small college and Arena League 2 games. He is a school teacher in Boise, Idaho, 8th grade geography teacher, and the AD at a middle school. Jim Core.
Third and return, personal foul, clipping, return team. Penalty half the distance from the spot of foul, first down.
And the Giants get backed up about 3 minutes into the game on opening night. Outside 30 Rock, concert getting the festivities underway and at a MetLife Stadium. Third year in existence for this ballpark, home of the Giants and the Jets as well, who will open up here on Sunday against Buffalo. This drive starts from the New York 13-yard line, first down. Henry Hynoski is the fullback. And he provides leverage for Bradshaw, who just barely gets out of the backfield. Well, let's go back and take a look at the penalty on the punt return.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. They called clipping. This looks like a block in the back. I can say okay on that one, but it wouldn't be a personal foul, so it wouldn't have been half the distance to the goal, so the Giants may have gained about 3 yards in the process. But I don't know, just continue to keep an eye on things around here.
For sure. Anyway, so Tom Coughlin with one of his rookies, Hosley, the defensive back, and now David Wilson, the rookie out of Virginia Tech, is in the backfield, and here is his first carry as a professional to the 17-yard line. He goes. He was really hoping to get drafted in the first round, and the Giants, by winning the Super Bowl, drafted last. So he's sitting at home. There he is with his family and friends, and he's got one shot to be drafted in the first round because it goes down to number 32, and he was sure it wouldn't be the Giants. It got down to about a minute and a half on the clock, and sure enough, he saw the New York area code, and he said, yeah.
Two-time national champion in the triple jump. He probably leaped right out of the room.
Right. 55 feet. Third down and 6. And Manning slings it down the sideline, and that's Victor Cruz coming off his fabulous season, setting a number of Giant records, throwing it over the head of the cornerback Brandon Carr, who they picked up for a lot of money from Kansas City.
Well, they're going to check him out here. A little pick play around the top. Going to get away with this one. Get Scandrick picked. Carr's going to try and come off on it, but too late.
Good for 26 yards. Giants to the 44. Bradshaw back in the backfield. And that's Martellus Bennett, the former Cowboy, 85, setting up, slot right. Manning throws, and that is caught by the ex-Cowboy, who gains 9 against his former teammates. Bruce Carter making the tackle. One of the things the Giants had to do is go out and find a tight end because Ballard went to New England. Beckham was hurt, so they got Bennett from Dallas.
See number 94 over there, DeMarcus Ware. They are going to move the tight end or the fullback that way almost every time, wherever he ends up. And so far, the Cowboys have countered with dropping DeMarcus Ware in coverage, and I think Eli may send him a thank you note for that.
Bennett caught 17 passes all last year with the Cowboys as the number 2 tight end behind Witten. And our second penalty.
False start. 80. 5 yards. Still second down.
Victor Cruz a little anxious at the line. Eli Manning, tremendous season last year, and of course at the very top of his game in the playoffs. His performance against the 49ers in San Francisco that day, one of the greats of all time. The battering, the pounding, the beating that he took, and Dad and Mom looking on here, and they'll go with us, or at least head the same place we're going on Sunday night when Peyton plays in Denver.
And if he wants to go with us, that's fine.
We can do that too. 2nd down and 6. Manning has to dump it off underneath, and that's Bennett. And Bennett telling the Cowboys, you shouldn't have got rid of me, to the 41-yard line. He was a free agent. Giants offered him a much better package than Dallas could, unless he wears the blue.
Good-looking protection. They're starting to bring some pressure inside. That time was Sean Lee, the linebacker, but it never really gets there. And you see Martellus Bennett, the former Cowboy, just after his protection scheme broke down, slide out and made a play. Bennett's always had great athleticism. He just hasn't really had a chance, due in large part to Jason Witten.
From the 42. 3-yard gain. Ahmad Bradshaw making it 2nd down and 7.
Well, Martellus Bennett and DeMarcus Ware are going to get to know each other in this game. Almost every single play, they have sent motion directly towards wherever DeMarcus Ware is. And Eli was telling us that they have the ability to change the play at the line of scrimmage, so it really doesn't matter where he lines up. They're going to get an extra body on him. There he comes this way, I bet. There you go.
2nd and 7, almost halfway through the opening quarter. Short drop, and then the pass is a back shoulder pass that is caught by Nix for a 1st down. Got position on Claiborne. Claiborne, the rookie out of LSU, for whom they traded up with St. Louis, the 6th overall pick in the draft.
It's really the first time that we've seen single coverage on the outside by Claiborne, and Eli went right after it. And it's maybe just as much a sign of their respect for Brandon Carr on the other side, who has become quite the player. The Cowboys very impressed with Brandon Carr.
3 first downs on this drive for the Giants. Picking and threading his way. Bradshaw, for the first time really in his career, gets to be the unquestioned #1 back because he shared a lot of time and carries with Brandon Jacobs through the years. He's also been injury prone. He's had a hard time keeping his feet, both feet, healthy. Has had surgery, all kinds of problems, but right now he is #1 with Jacobs in San Francisco, and Wilson is the apprentice back. And Wilson now comes into the game on 2nd down and 8. Wilson on the toss. And Wilson he's always had fumble issues, and there it is as he coughs it up, and Barry Church winds up with it. And that's what the Giants were talking about the other day with David Wilson, trying to get him to carry the ball the way they taught Tiki Barber to carry it high and tight. And sure enough, it's Sean Lee who comes in there, a force on that Dallas defense to create the turnover. So David Wilson giving up the ball, and Tom Coughlin, and he's discussed it with him obviously all through training camp. They got to try to settle him down right now. Fumble problems in college. Gives it up here, stripped by Sean Lee. Cowboys take over at the 34-yard line. 6.5 to go in the quarter with no score. And here goes Murray, who is a 3rd-round draft choice out of Oklahoma. And let's check in with Michelle.
Well, Al, after the Cowboys' first series, center Phil Costa's back, which kept him out of most of the preseason, tightened up. His return is questionable. Ryan Cook, who just joined the team this week, is now coming in. He's on the field, as you see. He and Tony Romo were working on the center quarterback exchange and shotgun snaps on the sideline. Al.
Thank you, Michelle. They just picked him up in a trade from Miami. He's been around with mainly Miami and Minnesota. Has done a lot of work at guard and at tackle, but very little at center. But he's the man right now, and last year they had all kinds of issues, especially on shotgun snaps, and this time they got a false start here as Tyron Smith, the left tackle.
False start, 77, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
Is whistled. The youngest player on the team in his 2nd year. Last year he was the youngest player in the league. Right now he's 21.
Yeah, and when you have to block JPP, you start those little quick steps maybe before the ball snap. This is an issue right now. This is a reshuffled Cowboys offensive line, and the Giants knew that Costa had some back injuries. Their plan now has certainly changed. They are going to be coming after Ryan Cook at center.
And that middle is vulnerable with the two new guards. The out of position center. Smith on the left side, free on the right side. A tackle, and the pass is caught by Miles Austin to the 40-yard line. And let's take a look at that New York D.
Justin Tuck, Notre Dame.
Linville Joseph, East Carolina.
Rocky Bernard, Texas A&M. Jason Pierre-Paul, South Florida.
Matthias Kiwanuka, Boston College.
Chase Blackburn, Akron.
Keith Rivers, University of Southern California.
Corey Webster, LSU.
Kenneth Phillips, DU.
Antrell Roll, the U.
Michael Coe, Cordova High School.
Rivers coming over after 4 years with the Bengals. 3rd and 4. And the pass is caught on a slant, and that is Kevin Ogletree. Kevin Ogletree has won the job, at least for the moment, as the number 3 receiver out of Virginia. 4th-year guy. They've been waiting for him to emerge. He really hasn't over the past 3 seasons, but this is a great opportunity for him now.
And Jason Pierre-Paul right here is going to get right inside on Ryan Cook. They're going to go immediately after the center. Now they're double teaming in there to give Cook some help. But that means one-on-ones elsewhere.
Now you got another flag before the snap again. That time they tried on a quick count to go to Murray.
82, 5 yards, still first down.
And that's Jason Witten. So 2 false starts on this series for Dallas. Kevin Gilbride, the offensive coordinator, going over the pictures with Eli and the backup quarterback, David Carr.
How about Eli Manning last year? 8 fourth quarter or overtime comebacks out of their 13 wins. 6 in the regular season, 2 in the playoffs. He was phenomenal.
Late game magic all the way through February. 1st and 15. And they run the draw. They love that play. And this is Murray. And Chris, if you had to talk about a difference between these teams last year, Tom Coughlin stressed finish. And that's what the Giants did. And what Dallas couldn't do was finish. Dallas coughed up 3 12-point or more leads in the 4th quarter and had gross clock mismanagement at Arizona. And those were 4 games they lost. They probably should have won.
Well, and you think about it, put it in perspective. 3 blown 12-point or more leads in the 4th quarter in their history. They only had 2 of those in their history prior to last year.
Right, so the Giants finished, and the Cowboys couldn't. And Romo with that spin around, and the pass is incomplete. Corey Webster got a hand on it. Keith Rivers forced the issue getting into Romo, and it will be 3rd down and 10.
Well, Keith Rivers thought he had a free shot, but I guess he hasn't played enough against Tony Romo to understand what's going to happen here. Coming off this edge, nobody's going to block him. Free shot right now. Justin Tuck was saying, I hate that move. Just when you think you have him and he doesn't see you, he spins out on you.
Romo tied for the league lead in touchdown passes from out of the pocket with Aaron Rodgers. 3rd and 10. And Romo hangs in, and that is caught. And this is Ogletree. He's going to try to pick up the 1st down, and we'll see where they spot it. Very close, either 4th and inches or a 1st down at the 36-yard line.
Well, first of all, that was a heck of a catch by Tony Romo just to get the snap, then got it in his hand quickly and hit a slant. That's not easy to do.
Bring the chains in.
Ryan Cook's going to fire one off to his right here, one-handed, get it back, get it out of his hand quickly, and what a great start so far for Kevin Ogletree. They have to have the additional receiver out there, that 3rd guy, and he's going to be just short.
All right, so Garrett's first key decision of the season right now. And for the moment, they're going to send the offense onto the field.
Well, they're bringing extra tackles and tight ends and fullbacks and every big guy they have on that sideline.
They picked up the fullback Vickers, who'd been with Cleveland and with Houston. And he can grade some roads. And he's in the game. And then you've got Murray there. Romo with his arm around Murray. You got 2 tight ends. And Parnell also lined up as a tight end. So a tight formation. It's 4th and 1. and they're going to give it to Vickers, and Vickers is very close. Obviously very close, but where are they going to put it? Looks from here as if he's going to be short. The yellow line is unofficial, as you all know, but he didn't appear to reach that. Bryant, of course, is trying to wish his way to a first down. No, I don't think they've got it.
No, I don't either. Antrell Roll is going to get credit for that one, too. What a play by him. Right here is going to come off the edge and catch Vickers in the backfield and just get him enough. Boy, you talk about this Giants defense and how many times they've delivered over the years, and looks like they might have done it again.
And the Giant offense already out on the field. This is just to make it official. First down, New York. So Dallas cannot cash in on the Giants turnover. 2:12 left on opening night in the first quarter. No score at the Meadowlands. Coming up later tonight, Jay Leno will have Magic Johnson and the voices Adam Levine. Later this week, Ellen DeGeneres and Matthew Perry on the Tonight Show as we cruise down the East River. Lower Manhattan, 77-degree Wednesday night as we begin the season. 2:12 left in the opening quarter. Giants have the ball at their own 37-yard line. And that is caught by Hakeem Nicks, and Nicks gets position on Claiborne, going right at the rookie for a first down. Claiborne, the 6th overall pick in the draft. The one thing they had to do, Chris, is shore up that back end in the offseason. They think they have.
Yeah, and they considered him the second best player on the board. Andrew Luck was considered the best. And there's the other cornerback, Brandon Carr. He didn't come so cheap, about 5 years, $50 million worth. But Jason Garrett said, we knew we had to spend money to get top-end corners.
Came over from the Chiefs. Now they run a stretch play with Bradshaw, and he gets taken down after a gain of a couple by Lissom. Here's a look at what happened last year in the 2 games. You had Cruz catching 12. You had Nicks catching 13. So when you look at those numbers, obviously in free agency in the draft, you're going, we're going to get some corners.
Well, and that's the issue. You know, they knew they had to get corners and they had to get linemen because of the quality of the defensive linemen in this division.
And also the wide receivers they've got to take care of, including people like Deshaun Jackson in Philadelphia. Now there's Bradshaw bouncing his way to the outside and pinballs his way to the 45-yard line, where he's tackled by Jason Hatcher. And the Giants in Dallas territory will have a 3rd down and 2.
Now you get the feeling Tom Coughlin didn't like that statistic that his team was the last place ranked rushing offense in the league a season ago. And he said the hard part is with the new schedule, the limited practices and the limited padded practices, you just can't work on the running game the way you used to be able to.
And a low snap, and then Manning throws, and he completes it. And that's going to be a first down to Victor Cruz. And the crowd will always tell you who makes the catch here.
Well, these 2 quarterbacks should be playing shortstop. They've had to, he thought it was underneath. David Voss, the center, thought that Eli was underneath the center instead of being in shotgun. He snapped it like he was standing right behind him.
And that's going to take us to the end of the opening quarter at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. End of 1. No score. And Sunday Night Football on this Wednesday night continues after these messages. In the sky over Midtown Manhattan, tonight's aerial coverage is brought to you by Geico. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya. Opening night, the first of 256 regular season games. Start the second quarter, 1st and 10 with no score. And Manning under pressure, avoiding a first sack from Sensabaugh and then going down with DeMarcus Ware getting their second. And for DeMarcus Ware, that will go into the books as career sack 100.
Yeah, and he got a little pressure from the back end of that one as well. Gerald Sensabaugh, as he goes back inside, and it's going to be Sensabaugh who gets there first, and then Ware's going to be able to clean that thing up. But that's rarefied air now for DeMarcus Ware with that sack.
They could go either way here, give him a half a sack. He had 99.5, but they're going to tell us now they're going to give him the full sack, even though Sensabaugh gets a major assist on it. 101 half sacks now for DeMarcus Ware. And on 2nd and 24, Manning getting about half of it back on a pass caught by Cruz at the 45-yard line. DeMarcus Ware, his 113th NFL game, so a little less than a sack per game. Second fastest to triple figures, Reggie White, with 96 games to get there, and more than a third of Dallas's sacks since 06, the highest percentage by any player for any team. He's been terrific through the years. Number 1 pick out of Troy in 05. 3rd and 14. 3-man rush. And Manning is flushed out. Chased again, and the secondary does its work, so the coverage was very good. The pressure by Spencer was good enough, and the Giants will be forced to punt.
Well, obviously, if you rush 3, you get the drop 8 in coverage here, and they tried to go a little wheel route to the outside of the Knicks, and there really just was nobody open. One of the tough parts about getting in those 3rd and longs, there just aren't many holes open.
Weatherford puts the nose down, they put backspin on the ball, and getting down there, but the ball will go into the end zone. Almost stopped by Justin Tryon. The defensive back special teams guy was almost able to collect it, but couldn't. Touchback, comes out to the 20, Dallas with the ball. For the complete viewing experience, check out Sunday Night Football Extra on NBCSports.com. Pick your own camera angle. You can chit-chat with Mike Florio, plus Michelle Tafoya, David Tyree, social media analysis. NBCSports.com, SNF Extra. Dallas starts this drive from the 20-yard line. Romo a play action and a pump fake, and then throws, and crossing over the middle is Des Bryant to make the catch, and Bryant thinks he wasn't tackled, I suppose, but he was. There's running the extra 62 yards.
Well, Bryant's going to come across your screen from the left. Let's see if he went down. Probably so.
Yep.
But worth the effort, I think.
Well, maybe it is, but it isn't, in the sense that the play clock starts when he goes down, so he has to come out of the game, and now you're down to 3 on the play clock. So kind of a silly effort in a way, as DeMarco Murray goes to the outside and is taken down there by Rivers. 2nd down and 9.
Let's take a look at the story of the week, really. Jason Witten with that injured spleen. A lot of questions whether or not he was going to be able to play. Hasn't been able to practice. He's come out and been okay. Hasn't been a major factor in the passing game yet, but his veteran leadership on the field helps with the running game somewhat. But really, neither offense able to get much going so far in this one.
Dallas had over 1,000 snaps last season. Unofficially, Witten missed 8 snaps all year. 2nd down and 11, and now Romo's going to pack it in, and Tony's going to take off and slide to a halt at the 46-yard line. Tony going down. They'll spot it at the 45. It'll be a run good for 8 yards, making it 3rd down and 3.
I think that he thought Jason Witten had a hot read on that one, and Witten blocked and gave him nowhere to throw the ball. You could see him looking right over at Witten, and then just knew he had nothing, so he pulled it down and made something out of nothing. You know, remember, Witten hasn't practiced, so maybe he just thought that he was supposed to block on this play. May have missed an audible or something. Romo salvaged it.
3rd down and 3. And the play clock was going to 0, and in fact it did go to 0. You're going to get a delay of the game here. Delay of game call.
Delay of game. Number 9 offense. 5 yards. Still 3rd down.
So instead of 3rd and 3, Garrett's going to now call it in a 3rd and 8 play. Romo against the Giants last year, great numbers, but 0-2. And remember, he had that bruised hand coming into that last game of the season. Had to take a shot to be able to play after banging it off a helmet against Philadelphia the prior week. 3rd and 8. They spread it out. They go 3-2, 5 wide. And the Giants rush 4 and get enough pressure on him. And the pass is intercepted at midfield. Picked off by Michael Boley. And Boley with an escort inside the 10. Dragged down inside the 5. And a penalty will probably tack on a couple of more yards as Smith got him around the neck. Good enough pressure on Romo that time, right up the middle. And he throws it into Boley's hands, and the Giants are going to have a 1st and goal when this is all done. Boley's last pick, October 5th of 08.
Personal foul. Horse collar tackle. 73. Half the distance. 1st down.
First of all, you're going to get the pressure from Jason Pierre-Paul. Again, working up the middle against Ryan Cook. Romo couldn't see down the field. He knew he threw the pick immediately. Right in the middle of the field, Michael Boley. Just an easy interception, reading Romo's eyes. And for Romo, the hardest thing for him is when he gets pressure right in his face. All the Giants talked about it. That if you can get pressure right up the middle against him, he tends to hurry reads.
So 1st and goal just inside the 2. Bradshaw is the running back, swings to the outside behind Hynoski and gets escorted out of bounds by Anthony Spencer. 2nd down and goal.
The Giants have certainly had struggles a season ago in some of their short yardage situations, but after catching a huge break like that, the good old days with the New York Giants, you just pound it at him until you score a touchdown. See if he has that kind of faith in this offensive line now.
Just to clean up what the referee called, the penalty was on 77, not 73 for the horse collar. Smith. 2nd down and goal from the 3-yard line. Bradshaw tries the other side. Well, the Giants, and if you follow the team, you know they were last in the league in rushing last year. There's Ryan saying, all right, 3rd and goal, hold to a field goal.
Just nothing there. I mean, so far they're trying to pull guys out. They're trying to pull Kevin Booth out and around a bit, but there has been absolutely nothing. So now the ball goes back into the hands of Eli, who has thrown more than a few interceptions in the red zone during the last few years.
3 receivers set to the right, with Bennett, the ex-Cowboy, in the slot. Nix to the near side. Eli guns it over the middle, and the pass is incomplete. Cruz looks around for a flag. Replacement officials or not, no flag. Ryan says, yeah. From 1st and goal to 4th and goal and a field goal attempt, and Orlando Scandrick was there to break it up.
No question, it was a hold. Orlando Scandrick's going to grab the jersey there. Victor Cruz knew it. Scandrick got away with it. Remember, each official on each play is watching one of the eligible receivers. Now, a lot of times you get in those 3-by-2 sets, it can be confusing. You wonder if that official saw that play in its entirety.
And the first points of the 2012 NFL season belong to Lawrence Tynes with a 22-yard field goal. 9:10 left in the half. 3-0 Giants. Next Wednesday, the NBC Sports Network takes you inside the NFL's biggest stories and most critical moments. Season premiere of NFL Turning Point with our man Dan Patrick next Wednesday on the NBC Sports Network. Public Library here in the Big Apple. At least the environs of the Big Apple. Meadowlands, East Rutherford, New Jersey. 8 miles as the helicopter flies from Midtown. And Tynes to send this one skyward into the end zone where Felix Jones is going to run it out. The #1 pick back in 2008 for the Cowboys. To the 19-yard line where Romo goes to work again. His team down by a field goal. This kickoff special on NBC being brought to you by DirecTV. The season's NFL Sunday ticket is included when you switch. By Nissan, innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation that excites. By Subway, the official training restaurant of Justin Tuck. And by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Some scenes after the Giants won the Super Bowl, the parade, the visit to the White House. They're up 3-0 here on opening night, and this is DeMarco Murray. Guy who really has done a great job with the Giants and very understated is Jerry Reese. In a town where it's all Jets in the newspapers and mainly talk radio and all that, Mr. Reese has done a solid job drafting, picking up free agents, constructing this roster, and owns a couple of rings along the way.
Yeah, as long as they're talking about the Giants in February, I don't think that they really care what they write the other parts of the year.
They like it that way. 2nd down and 8. And that pass is caught by Hanna, the tight end. Hanna, rookie out of Oklahoma. So you've got Witten on the sideline right now. Helmet was off. And let's go back to what may have been a touchdown-saving penalty by Tyron Smith.
No doubt about it. There are good penalties and bad penalties. Here's a great penalty because Michael Boley goes in the end zone. Obviously, that's 7 points, and that forced caller saved him 4.
And now here is Murray trying to find some room over right guard. DeMarco to the 35-yard line. So DeMarco Murray gets picked in the 3rd round as Witten is on the sideline for the moment. And then he starts on the bench last year because Felix Jones is the guy. And in years past, of course, they had Marion Barber going back and the great Emmitt Smith. And then here's a guy who winds up with 253 yards against the Rams early last season. Looks great. Gains over 800 yards and then fractures his ankle in week 14 in the game that they coughed up against the Giants in Arlington.
Not much tonight so far, though.
2nd and 7 so far tonight. 6 carries for 14 yards. And a flag.
False start. 68. 5 yards. Still 2nd down.
Jim Core calling that one on Doug Free, the right tackle who played left tackle last year, and then they flipped him this year with Smith, their #1 pick last season, going to left and Free over to right.
Yeah, this offensive line has been flipped upside down every way you can imagine, and now with Cook in there instead of Costa, everybody's in a different position, and it's showing up so far. Bill Callahan there in charge of trying to make this thing work, but you wondered with all 5 guys doing something different, could they bring it together this quickly, and so far they haven't.
2nd down and 12. And they run a draw, and this time nothing doing because that's Pierre Paul coming into the backfield and stopping him behind the line of scrimmage.
Tyron Smith making his first start at left tackle, and he's going to get a lesson from one of the up-and-coming superstars in the league, Jason Pierre-Paul. I mean, for a guy that big, watch the moves, in, out, back around, the flexibility. He's a star. There's no other way to put it. He is a superstar.
Neither team can run the ball tonight. Dallas 9 carries, 19 yards. The Giants 9 carries, 16 yards. 3rd and 15. Cowboys just do get the snap off. And Romo swings it to the outside, and that's Ogletree making the catch, but a beautiful tackle there by Michael Coe, a man very much in the crosshairs with Amukamara missing, with Terrell Thomas again missing the season with an injury. Coe getting a start tonight, making a good tackle there to set up a punt.
Yeah, he is essentially their 4th corner because of Amukamara and Terrell Thomas, and also the rookie Jerron Hosley is going to get playing time in the nickel tonight. So we talked about changes for the Cowboys, but the Giants very thin in the secondary.
The left-footed Jones is the punter. They let McBriar go after all those years, and he got released by Philadelphia last week. And that's fair caught at the 16-yard line by Dominic Dixon. Manning back in action, 5:18 left in the half, 3-0 Giants. Eli known for that late game magic, and there are his 2 Super Bowl performances. First 3 quarters, The numbers right there, and then he lights it up in the fourth. And of course, the big play was this one to Manningham down the left sideline late in the game.
Watch Eli look off Patrick Chung. A little half step back inside. It's going to give him just enough room on the outside to get this in. It had to be absolutely perfectly thrown. One of the best and most memorable passes and catches in Super Bowl history, and it propelled him on to the game-winning touchdown.
They win it in 7. The Tyree catch. They win it in 11. The Manningham catch is the key play, and trying to do it again in 2012 as they start this drive from the 16-yard line, and they give the ball here to Bradshaw. And Chris, when I think about the Giants, you've got Manning, and all of a sudden a couple of years ago, how good is he? But he's won 2 Super Bowls. Tom Coughlin is a guy who seems to go, every time he's on the hot seat, he goes to the Hall of Fame ballot. And a lot of people are beginning to think right now the Giants are the model franchise in the league. They're in the discussion.
Yeah, no question about it. But Eli Manning, when you watch him throw, maybe it's not the most beautiful thing statistically. Maybe he throws too many interceptions. But when the games are on the line, he makes phenomenal plays. And that's what you have to have. Fourth quarter plays, and Eli has done that.
He's done it in the Super Bowls. He's done it against Dallas as well. Romo has played extremely well as Bradshaw gets stuffed again. And the ball was out for the moment, but the Giants wind up with it. And it will be 3rd down and long. Romo's numbers against the Giants have been really good through the years, but for Tony, he keeps walking off the field with a loss.
Well, it's unbelievable, though, for Tony Romo. His last 3 games against the Giants, he's thrown for over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception, and his record's 0-3. You can say whatever you want about Tony Romo being the issue, but that's not the issue. That's a guy against your rival, the Super Bowl champions, that got his part of the job done, and the rest of the team simply did not.
And yet, unfair as it may be, but it's sports in America today. If he doesn't win the Lombardi, there's that big hole in the resume.
No doubt.
3rd and 8. And that pass is incomplete off the hands of Bennett. Bennett on the outside that time, chased by the safety, Barry Church. 4th down.
Just a dream matchup, a perfect read by Eli Manning. He saw Church inside man coverage, break it out there, perfectly thrown ball, maybe a little bit overthrown, but for Bennett, that's the play he has to make. And if you have to dive, you have to dive, but you've got to make that play.
Here's Weatherford's punt. Des Bryant will chase it toward the sideline and then catch it as he goes out of bounds. Good punt, leaving him no room. 3.5 to go in the half. 3-0 New York. Well, the Manning family series continues. America's Game of the Week, Sunday Night Football, 4 nights from now. Peyton Manning in his Denver debut. By the way, Ben Roethlisberger will be in the game. Pittsburgh against Denver. Football night starts at 7 o'clock. Peyton looking for, among other things, touchdown pass number 400. What a matchup. Pittsburgh at Denver on Sunday night. From the 27-yard line now. And again, you've got a false start here. That's 4 false starts and a delay of the game against Dallas already.
False start. 77, 5 yards, no first down.
2 on Smith. Here's Michelle.
The linebacker Michael Boley, who was bothered by a hamstring in the preseason, he's back in the locker room, Al, due to cramps. Keith Rivers is on the field. He had been questionable a few minutes ago with a hamstring. He was riding a bike, jogging and stretching on the sideline, but he's in for Boley right now, Al.
All right, thank you, Michelle. Jaquan Williams comes in. Remember last year the Giants were going out into the street to find linebackers late in the season. One of the guys that brought Chase Blackburn back, and he had a great postseason, including an interception in the Super Bowl on 1st and 15. Swinging to the outside and coming down with the ball and inbounds is Des Bryant. Big play guy, and they expect a lot from him. Did he get his feet in? They said yes for the moment.
Well, working against Jaquan Williams out there, who's really taken over for Deion Grant. Both feet down, control the ball, nice throw, nice catch. And it looks like this game is going to come down to Tony Romo. I've seen no signs that this offensive line is going to be able to move the New York Giants defensive line. short, quick passes to avoid the pass rush looks like the only formula here.
That gained 13. It's second and a deuce, and that pass is caught. Witten back in the game, making the catch, and with that second effort is able to pick up the first down as we tick down under 3 minutes to go.
You know how you don't think about it much, but opening day I always thought was the toughest day. Now playing at night certainly helps a little bit because you avoid the heat, but you're not used to playing this much. Usually a half at most, and we're already seeing some of the players out there cramping up, hands bent over on their knees. You know, it's a different kind of a game.
Temperature at game time tonight was 77. Some humidity. And here is Murray, and Murray is finally able to break one for a gain of 9 out to the 47-yard line. He's tackled there by Kenny Phillips.
Marco Murray, they're so excited about him as a back. They're telling us a story that when they got to the third round and he was still there, like, what did we miss? How come nobody's taking this guy that runs 4.4 and pass protects like this and catches the ball like this?
Longest rush of the game for either team, and then on 2nd and 1, he misses Ogletree, and we go to the 2-minute warning. It'll be 3rd and 1 when we come back to MetLife Stadium. 3-0 Giants. Turn the halftime show coming up. Tony Dungy with Peyton Manning. You'll see the rest of that conversation Sunday night. Brian Williams reporting from the convention in Charlotte coming up at halftime. The Toyota halftime show as you cross the Hudson River to Lower Manhattan, and we come back to the Meadowlands where it's 3rd down and 1 at the 47 for Romo. 4-man rush, and Tony going deep, and it's caught on the run, and that's Bryant tackled by Phillips all the way down at the 15-yard line. Beat Corey Webster, and on 3rd down and 1, it's a big gainer. It's 38 yards.
3rd down and 1. They don't even think about running it. Nice move by Des Bryant. Corey Webster's been all over the field against the #1 threat. Tony Romo saw that one-on-one matchup, and finally we have a big play in the game other than Michael Boley's interception. This has been one, but for the Giants, this is a trend. They have given up a lot of points in the last 2 minutes of either half, second only to the Cowboys defense last year.
Cowboys with all of their timeouts, and this is Ogletree. He gets tackled at the 10-yard line by Jaquan Williams. And the Cowboys will spend a timeout with 67 seconds to the half. The new season of The Voice returning next Monday and Tuesday to NBC. Same great coaches, talent better than ever. The Voice, Monday night, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on NBC. After the Dallas timeout, it's 2nd down and 5 for the Cowboys at the 10. And through the backfield with Murray going out to the left. Romo flushed out of the pocket. Romo throwing on the run, wide open and making the catch. Ogletree, touchdown Cowboys. Ogletree winning the #3 job and hauling in Dallas's first touchdown of the season on his 5th catch of the game.
Well, first of all, Tony Romo having to buy time. Jason Pierre-Paul forcing him out of the pocket, but a nice adjustment by Kevin Ogletree. Right in here is going to stop and then see the scramble and get in behind the linebackers. Remember, the Giants now, no longer are they playing those 3 safety looks, so this is a different looking defense down here. Jaquan Williams now effectively playing where a safety did a season ago.
Here's Dan Bailey's extra point with 1:01 left in the opening half at the Meadowlands. The Cowboys have their first lead of the night. 61 seconds remaining. 7 plays, 6 of them were passes. Jerry Jones and son Stephen Jones. Jerry buying the team in 1989. Brought Jimmy Johnson in. Jimmy won 2 Super Bowls. Barry Switzer won 1, but that seems like ancient history right now. The Cowboys in a dry spell since 1996 when they won a wild card game from the Minnesota Vikings. They won only 1 postseason game in the interim. And to turn that around. As this is Wilson, the rookie who fumbled coming out of the backfield earlier, taking it to the 31. So what kind of an investment did Jerry make? Take a look at this. Forbes just listed the most valuable NFL teams. The Cowboys are worth approximately $2.1 billion. New England at 1.63, the Redskins at 1.6, and the Giants fourth at a paltry 1.46. The Mara family has owned the team since the inception. John Mara has done a great and very classy job here, as along with Steve Tisch, the owners of the franchise, and they have the 4 trophies to show for it. From the 30. And that's Cruz turning around to look to see where Scandrick was before he could haul it in. Second down.
And second drop for Victor Cruz, who was one of the most electric players in the league a season ago. Salsa dancing, you could see his eyes going right up the field, and never saw that. And we talked about, it wasn't even close. We talked about the fact that the Giants defense was the second worst in the final 2 minutes of either half. Well, the worst, the Dallas Cowboys. So let's see if Eli can take advantage now.
Second and 10. And Manning almost has it swatted away from behind and then gets sacked by Ware. He almost had the sack fumble to go with it. So Ware now with 2 sacks tonight, 101.5 in his illustrious career.
It's one of those 2-man coverages where Claiborne's working one-on-one on the outside, but he has help over the top. The safeties, 2 deep safeties over the top, so the corners can be awfully brave down the field and not have to worry about getting beat deep. You can see Eli had nowhere to go with it and had to eat the ball.
Third down and 16. And the Giants appear to be content just to go into the locker room. 80 total yards for the Giants in this half, and they'll just run it out with Bradshaw to the 29-yard line. So the New York Giants come in, celebrate the championship moment, but not much to celebrate after that half. 7-3 Dallas. Bob D'Antoni and Rodney, and let's hear the halftime show after these messages from your NBC station. Halftime, Dallas on top by a score of 7-3. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey, home of the Giants and the Jets. Third season now for this park, which will host the Super Bowl a year from February.
I'll tell you, the happiest guy in the building right now has to be Rob Ryan, the defensive coordinator of the Cowboys. You got those 2 new corners, Bruce Carter, a young linebacker in there, and the only points they gave up was when Michael Boley took it down to the 2-yard line, and his defense drove him back a couple of yards from there. So this is exactly what they were hoping for when they spent all that money on the cornerbacks, and boy, they look much better than what they did a season ago.
Limited the Giants to 85 yards. So the third quarter underway. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya. Opening night 2012. And Dallas will take the ball at the 20-yard line. Felix Jones takes a knee, and we check in with Michelle.
Al, Jason Garrett told me at halftime he's not going to blame his team's woes on the change at center to Ryan Clark. He said, I wish Clark had more experience, but we're just going to help him when we can. By the way, Phil Costa is out. As for Tom Coughlin, he said, we shot ourselves in the foot with turnovers, not being able to score from the 1-yard line, but his biggest concern is protecting Eli Manning. He said, if we can protect the quarterback, I think we'll be okay. Yeah,
because Ware has gotten in there twice, Michelle. Thank you for the report. As the Cowboys take over at the 20-yard line. Third quarter getting underway. Tony Romo, 11 of 15 for 138. And he swings it to the outside to Murray. And Murray stays in bounds and picks up 9 yards to the 29-yard line. It'll be second down and 1 for the Cowboys.
Now, I think this game really changed, and you could see it happening when the Cowboys essentially gave up on their running game. They knew they had issues up front now with changing the center and all the different moves that have been made there. So they just put Romo back there and let him complete some short, quick passes, get the ball out of his hands, and their offense has taken off since.
One decent run, that by Murray from 9 yards. The other long run was Romo himself for 8. And here's Murray chugging his way through the middle of the line to pick up a first down at the 31-yard line. And that's the first rushing first down by either team in tonight's game.
Yeah, and the Cowboys would love to stay with this running game because it leaves Linval Joseph and Rocky Bernard and Marcus Kuhn, some of those defensive tackles that play the run in the game, and keep some of the pass rushers on the sideline. But you have to be effective. You have to at least hope that you can pick up a few yards here and there.
Swing it out. Murray again, and he gets taken down. That's Antrell Roll, former Arizona Cardinal. It was Roll, the Giants were saying, who last year really got the team fired up. They had that big win in Dallas. Then they lost the next week to Washington. And of course, that set up the run, but it was Roll who really got on the team in a meeting.
Yeah, Tyron Smith there, and JPP thought he got held on that play. And Tyron Smith, talk about baptism by fire, having to face that guy in your first try ever at left tackle. Not a lot of fun, but at least he's hanging in there with him.
First round pick on the Cowboys last year out of USC. Murray, nice move to the outside, and they try to get it going, and then they get very lucky as the ball comes loose and just pops into the waiting arms of Miles Austin.
Boy, Tyron Smith that time, you know, he's just doing the best he can over there, and the pass rush, that move actually helped him. Going to come in and then back out, which worked perfectly for the draw play, so Tyron Smith just went down on the linebacker, Jaquan Williams. I think he was down anyway.
Yep. No fumble as it turns out.
Now 3rd and 1 again. Last time they went spread formation and threw the deep ball to Des Bryant. This time they're down inside tight.
Give it to Murray behind Vickers, and he'll pick up the first down. Angling his way behind a Vickers block. Well, got Vickers, the fullback, formerly with Cleveland and Houston, to provide some leverage, and he does the job right there.
Wait, he sure did. That was a great block by the fullback, Lawrence Vickers. And if your fullback can establish the edge like this and put his guy on his back, you're going to pick up some 3rd and 1s.
From the 44-yard line. Romo dumps it off underneath and a little too high for Felix Jones. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Remember, Dallas for a lot of years a very solid and steady front line, but now Free and Smith flip. You got Costa, who's hurt tonight after he started the game. You bring Livings and Bernardo in, 2 new guards, and so long gone are the days of Flozell Adams and Larry Allen, who was here tonight, and they had that solid and steady front, and they've had to revamp it over the last couple of years. Still revamping it. They clock at 1 at 0. They just do get it off. It's caught by Bryant, and he'll pick up a first down at the 40-yard line. Chased and tackled by Roll. So Des Bryant playing a very key role in tonight's game.
It's a great job by Romo. He saw the double barrel blitz here and here. He checked to the audible, got it out of his hands quickly, had the one-on-one coverage on the outside. That's just tremendous quarterback play there. And really, Des Bryant working against the best that the Giants have, and Corey Webster is starting to get a feel. He's been on a bit of a roll here.
4 catches for 85 for number 88. Swing it to the outside, and Witten can't handle it. Witten has been the rock. He's been so steady 10 years out of Tennessee. Been called a lot of things, the security blanket, the safety valve, whatever you want to call him. But the one thing about this guy, I mean, he's a guy who someday obviously is going to wind up at least on the Cowboy Ring of Honor.
Yeah, he probably is going to do better than that. He has 5 straight years over 75 catches, the first tight end in NFL history to accomplish that. Only 2 guys over 700 catches, and he's about to get that as well.
2nd down and 10.
Again, the kill when he saw the blitz, which means he's going to the alternative play.
Gets it off just before the play clock expires, and then open is Ogletree. Touchdown, Dallas. The second for Ogletree. 40 yards to cap the opening drive of the second half.
Romo got him again. He went kill at the line of scrimmage. So that meant we're going to the pass. Blackburn's the Mike backer, block him, double move on the outside. Corey Webster burnt. And I tell you what, the star of this game so far, besides Tony Romo, is Kevin Ogletree. Romo does such a great job of buying time. Even when he knows he's getting blitzed, he can buy that 2 or 3 seconds to allow that double move to happen. Just brilliant play on that drive by Tony Romo.
First 2 touchdowns of Ogletree's career. Bailey knocks it through. It takes them 4 minutes and 36 seconds to open the second half and turn it into a 14-3 Dallas lead. This NBC kickoff special being brought to you by Wendy's Asiago Ranch Chicken Club, by Internet Explorer. Welcome to a more beautiful web. By Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. And by Bud Light, the official beer of NFL fans. Here we go. Space Shuttle Enterprise currently on display on the USS Intrepid on the Hudson River in New York City. Dallas on top, 14-3. And Bailey's kick takes a backward hop and is fielded by Andre Brown. He can only bring it back to the 11-yard line. And Manning down by 11 points. Goes to work for the Giants when we come back. Well, the 2 new corners, Carr coming from Kansas City is a free agent. Claiborne picked 6th overall in the draft. And Rex's twin brother Rob, the defensive coordinator in his 2nd year, and is watching his guys do the job. Up by 11 of the Cowboys. Giants will begin from their own 11-yard line. 10:19 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Eli going to work now, changing the play.
And that's caught for a first down. That is Dominic Hickson making the catch. And that time a little bit of a gamble by Barry Church coming in. Couldn't handle it. And Hickson gets it for a first.
Barry Church had a real shot at this one. I thought this was going to be a pick 6 for a minute. They changed the coverage. It looked like one of those 2-man coverages. And I think Eli checked to a play for that. And then they rotated down, and Church almost came up with that one.
From the 23, can they get something going on the ground? Not yet. Gain of 2 for Bradshaw, 2nd and 8.
Well, Rob Ryan has his version of Darrelle Revis and Antonio Cromartie now, and they have been shutting down the Giants. Remember, Akeem Nicks came in with almost no practice time whatsoever because of the foot. Claiborne on the other side working against them. This is exactly what they had hoped would happen when Brandon Carr and Morris Claiborne were brought in here, paid big money to get them, but huge dividends so far.
Helped by a couple of Cruz drops as well. 2nd and 8. Play action. Open. Bennett. And the ex-Cowboy is ridden out by Spencer with a flag coming in at the end of the play. Replacement refs. Coughlin looking exasperated. Jim Core, an 8th grade geography teacher from Idaho, to make the call.
Illegal block in the back. 80. Offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. It's still 2nd down.
That's Victor Cruz.
If he blocked him, he did it with a fingernail. I mean, take a look. Let's see. Okay. A patty cake block. You can see Victor try and go, oh, wow, you're kidding me. This is the NFL. That's okay, all right.
I'm with you. Under 9 now in the quarter. The Giants, instead of a first down, back to a 2nd and 6 at the 27. And underneath, Bradshaw in that second effort may have picked up the first down. Very close to it. Spot the ball right at the 33-yard line.
Boy, Martellus Bennett's caught a couple of nice balls, and now watch him blocking DeMarcus Ware. And not often a tight end's asked to do that one-on-one. But I think for Eli Manning, he's seen what Tony Romo's doing, which is just get the ball out of his hand quickly and try and get some forward momentum going with this offense. But so far, the former Dallas Cowboy Martellus Bennett has played a nice game.
Well, meantime, they originally signaled third down. Now they signal first down. The Cowboys are going, well, what is it?
Yeah, they've got to give him a fresh clock, and they did.
Right. He's originally one official signaled third down. Then the ball clearly was the first down to the 33. And now the pass is caught here by Hakeem Nicks. And that's another clear first down, we think, to the 45. Tackled by Claiborne.
Well, that time Nicks got the best of Morris Claiborne on the outside. Of course, now you start thinking as a rookie, you don't want to give up a big play. And Nicks over the years has been that big play guy for them. But the tempo now, you're starting to see Eli get his guys to the line of scrimmage. They're starting to pick it up, and you've got to think defensively now. The Cowboys, what kind of shape are they in?
From the 45-yard line, Bradshaw to the outside, and gets taken down by Sensabaugh, hat to hat, at the 50-yard line.
And Henry Hynoski that time pulling out in front. The fullback for the Giants able to get the edge the other way. So we're starting to see these big fullbacks taking advantage. And you know how we talk about it all the time, but sometimes the running game looks so ugly in the first half. As defenses wear down a bit, starts to break a few in the second half.
Giants can only hope right now. 2nd down and 5.
Hey, 3 down, 54 to the play. Hey, on the house.
Manning to the air. That's Hynoski, and he's going to get taken down by Spencer. You know, Chris, for years and years, we've always heard you have to be able to run the ball. What's fascinating is in the last 4 Super Bowls, 3 teams, Arizona in 08, Indianapolis in 09, and the Giants last year were dead last, 32nd in rushing.
Yeah, what we used to think about, we don't think about so much anymore. You know, it's a passing league. I think everybody understands that now. The rules are all in favor of the passing game.
3rd down and 4. And Manning sliding left, throwing into double coverage, and the catch is, for the moment, made by Hickson, and then wrestles it away. Hickson going all the way downfield. Carr was right with him. It looked like it was a tie for a second, and he winds up with a 39-yard gain.
Going to go a little double move in and out here as the safety rolls up, runs right by him, and now it's just sort of a jump ball, and Carr just jumped a little too soon, and Silva couldn't get there, and that was sort of the catch that we saw Victor Cruz make so many times a season ago for these Giants.
Silva could not wrest it away, so Manning has given them a 1st and goal from the 10-yard line, and here goes Bradshaw, and a good time for the running game to kick into gear. Touchdown Giants.
Fullback can dig out the linebacker. These isolation plays simply work. Kevin Booth down the field. Sean Locklear, who is supposed to be the 3rd string tackle, having to play for Will Beatty tonight. Just power football.
Stiff arm there. Welcome to the NFL moment for Claiborne. Tynes with the extra point. 89 yards, 9 plays, 5:11 remaining in the third on opening night, with Dallas leading New York 14-10. Fighting Irish are home. Their home opener, South Bend, Saturday, NBC. Purdue against Notre Dame as the Irish come off their win over Navy in Dublin, where one Chris Collinsworth and family took in the action.
Well, Irish look pretty good. Got a little power running game going.
You fun in Dublin?
Oh, love that place.
6 yards in, Felix Jones takes it out to the 20. I'm in Dublin, Ohio.
I like that place too.
It's good. Good golf. 5:04 left in the third. Majnowski and Bradshaw, touchdown Giants. Kevin Ogletree, 4th year in the league, 6 catches tonight, first 2 touchdowns of his career. Coming home at the high school at Holy Cross High School in Queens, and Romo winds up hitting Witten here. So for Ogletree, his career to this point, nothing to write home about. And tonight he's home, and there's a lot to write home about.
Sure is. This was nice on the outside. Watch Corey Webster going to keep his eyes on Tony Romo. And meanwhile, Ogletree's going to work in his blind spot. If you're a driver, you know what I'm talking about. Webster doesn't see the little double move, and there he goes. There's a lot of consternation about LeRon Robinson going to Jacksonville. Who was going to fill him in?
2nd and 3. Murray puts his head down. He's going to swing back the other way. Runs into his own man, Vickers. And down the sideline he goes. Inside the 30 to the 25 on a sensational run by Murray. Broke away from Justin Tuck to turn a loss and what would have been a 3rd and long into a 48-yard gain.
Matthias Kiwanuka got a shot, Justin Tuck got a shot, and you get the feeling that maybe the Giants relaxed just for a minute, thinking, oh, we've got him all tied up, and then here we go. And there were blockers all the way down the sideline. That is fantastic. That's what we saw before he got injured a season ago, those sort of spectacular big play runs.
12 totes for 83. Philip Tanner comes in as Murray gets a rest at the 25-yard line. And the pass is caught over the middle, and this is Phillips, the tight end, who would have played a much bigger role tonight had Witten not been able to play. Chase Blackburn making the tackle.
You know, but John Phillips, because of the fact that Jason Witten wasn't able to practice, got a lot of work in with Tony Romo. And so now you get a little comfort level going with your quarterback. Let's go back to this run by DeMarco Murray. One, here we go. All right, we got him right. Our big guys got him. We don't got him.
Wow. 2nd and 4. Going to switch along that offensive front. You get Derek Dockery in at left guard with Livings out of the game.
There goes Romo idling again, but too late.
Romo takes a timeout with 2:53 to play in the third quarter on opening night. 14-10 Cowboys. Weeks from now, Sunday night, we're going to be in Denver. Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers come into Invesco. Peyton Manning makes his Bronco debut. Football night gets it started at 7 Eastern time. Steelers, Broncos, what a game on Sunday night football. Meanwhile, on Wednesday night football, 2nd and 4 for Dallas, up by 4. After the Cowboy timeout. Romo from the shotgun.
Romo's getting to show their blitz. Now he's going to the audible. They're going to come up and looks like straight man coverage. And now they get out of it.
The 5-man rush this time. Extra pressure. Romo escapes. And Romo to the 9-yard line to set up a first down and goal. Chased down by Michael Coe.
Well, they have been working Jason Pierre-Paul inside for the most part tonight, trying to get pressure in Tony Romo's face. They felt like that's when he made his biggest mistakes. But that time he just pulled it down and picked up a big first down. Tony Romo's been remarkable. Almost 100 passes now without an interception in the red zone.
First down and goal from the 10. Here goes Murray, and he gets 4 of those yards. to the 6-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down and 4 with a little more than 2 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter.
You know, the one thing the Cowboys have not been able to do, at least last season, was run the football down in the red zone for touchdowns. Only 5 rushing touchdowns, which is the lowest number in Cowboys history. So they would have loved to establish the ability behind these 2 big guards now to play a little power football down here.
Ogletree to the left, runs a slant. Romo escapes for the moment, but not a second time. You knew that Jason Pierre-Paul was going to put the heat on, and then Joseph comes in to clean up.
Well, you're not going to take Jason Witten, who hasn't been practicing at all, and handle this guy out here. He's going to do the best he can, but Jason Pierre-Paul, while he may not have many sacks on the night, he has been a disruptive force. Romo escaped that one, but not for long.
9-yard sack, 3rd and goal from the 15-yard line in the final minute of the quarter. Bryant's to the left, Ogletree's to the right. Cole Beasley, a rookie, out of the left slot. And Romo throwing for the end zone and knocked away. No hat trick for Ogletree as Michael Coe got a hand in there, and Bailey will come in to attempt the field goal.
Well, the ball was thrown behind, but for Michael Coe, that's a huge moment in his career. Really the 4th corner who had to dress and play tonight. Romo got away with one there. A little better coverage. That might have been his first interception in about 100 passes.
34-yard attempt for Bailey. The punter Jones to hold it. And the kick is good. With 40 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter, the Cowboy lead is 7 in the Meadowlands. 17-10. The Giants, Tom Coughlin as the head coach. You look at those numbers there. 8 postseason wins, 2 Super Bowl wins, and they match up very similarly with Bill Parcells as you look at that through the years. Tom now in his 9th year, each with a pair of Super Bowl wins. There he is, Tom Coughlin, 65 when they won it last year, turned 66 in the offseason. 11 grandchildren, ranging in age from 9 years to 1 month. The newest, the granddaughter, he was in the delivery room. He was invited. And as he said, he was in the peanut gallery. The kick is taken in the end zone and run back to the 17-yard line.
Yeah, not for his own kids, he wasn't in there.
No, he wasn't.
For his grandkid. He said all that medication they're giving him, it makes it a lot easier to stay in there now.
It's Andre Brown who ran the last kick back. Coughlin, who took over the Jacksonville Jaguars when they came into the league in 1995 and almost got them to the Super Bowl, amazingly, in their 2nd season. Took them all the way to the AFC Championship game and one other championship game against Tennessee in '99. From the 18, Bradshaw trying to get on track and turns a loss into a nice little gain out to the 23-yard line he goes.
You know, I don't know what's going on the Giants sideline, but Michael Coe, the corner, who was the 4th corner in, was getting a lot of attention from some of the medical staff on the sideline, so we'll certainly keep an eye on that.
2nd and 5 if they get the playoff, and they will not. That's going to take us to the 4th quarter. We played 3 on opening night. Dallas 17 and the Giants 10. And NBC's kickoff special continues after these messages. Aerial coverage brought to you tonight by Geico with the Statue of Liberty at the bottom of the screen. And we come back to the Meadowlands. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, the shelter for you. Sunday Night Football on Wednesday night to open it up. The Giants with a 2nd and 5 to start the 4th quarter. And chased by Ware, and the pass is incomplete. So for Manning, here he is in a situation he was in a number of times last season. 15 TD passes in the fourth, a record. 6 game-winning drives, led the NFL most in Giants history. Tremendous passer rating. Week 1, as you look at the Cowboys, they were here, led by 14 and blew it. Led the Lions in week 4, had like a 21-point lead in that game at one point and blew it. And then, of course, the Giants loss in week 14. All in the fourth. What happens tonight? 3rd and 5. Manning throws and Bradshaw drops it. And the flag is down and Manning was hit. Manning went down to the 12-yard line. And it was Jason Hatcher who came in. We'll see if the call is on him.
He came in awfully high. I'm not sure if he hit him in the helmet or not, but it looked like it from here.
He had the look of a guy who's going to go to the pokey.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. 97 defense. 15 yards. Automatic first down.
Verdict is in.
And it's not good for the Cowboys. Let's take a look. Hands up around the throat area. That counts. Just not going to allow that to happen. And you can say what you want. I know we've got a lot of controversy about the officials, but the officials tonight really have not had a major impact on this game. They've done a pretty decent job out here.
Hatcher comes out from the 38-yard line on first down. And now what? It's not going to favor Dallas.
Did I just put the kibosh on him?
Yes, you did.
I think I
it was
did.
the full kibosh.
I didn't know I could do it to officials, too.
The kibosh, the kibosh.
There is no flag on the play. The 12th man got off the field in time.
Okay.
I got him. I take full responsibility for that. But what a penalty, though, on Jason Hatcher.
Yeah.
You know, 3rd down, incomplete pass. You're going to get off the field, get the ball back. The Giants have an injured cornerback. Just a huge penalty. What a mistake.
From the 38-yard line now. In the opening moments of the fourth quarter. Bradshaw swinging to the outside. Going nowhere. That's Bruce Carter, their 2nd-round pick last year out of North Carolina, corralling him.
Bruce Carter's had a nice game out here. This is a guy that was taken in the 2nd round but had an ACL injury. And so they knew they weren't going to get anything out of him last year and really didn't. But now he's starting and he's really added a speed element. Well, we've talked about the corners all night, but his speed inside has shown up in stopping the running game.
2nd and 10.
180, 100.
Now buying time. And then the catch is made. That's Bear Pasco, one of the Giant tight ends, to the 44. You're talking about Carter, Chris, and they made a lot of changes in the secondary. We talked about that with Newman gone. Terrence had been there a long time. And the 2 inside linebackers, Keith Brooking and Brady James, a couple of staples over the last few years, both gone.
Yeah, one of the oldest defenses got much younger. Now, I tell you, I would start working Martellus Bennett a little bit down the middle of the field. They're playing a lot of 2-deep coverage with their safeties. And had to run off late again here. But there's some openings in the middle of the field.
3rd down and 4. Manning gets jostled and sacked at the 39-yard line. And that's Jason Hatcher somewhat atoning for that personal foul, which kept the Giants alive on this drive, getting the sack.
Well, that time the Cowboys did a nice job. They had to switch off their coverage inside, and they got it right. Sometimes you can really mess this up. They had a little switch on an inside crossing route and picked it up beautifully. So Eli really had nowhere to go.
Now Weatherford's going to kick, and Dwayne Harris is back to accept it. One of their wideouts returning kicks here. and takes the ball back to the 17-yard line where Tony Romo will take over with a 7-point lead and 13 minutes left. The first of 256 regular season games. The NFL started this format in 2004 where the team that won the Super Bowl gets to open up the season on a weeknight, normally a Thursday at home. It started in New England. This is the 9th of those games. The reigning champion has won all 8. 8-0 has the home team gone through the years under this format, and now tonight the home team is in jeopardy. Down by 7, fourth quarter. Murray to the 23-yard line, gains 5. Let's go to Michelle.
Well, earlier we saw Tom Coughlin appearing to look like he got some bad news from Ronnie Barnes. We believe it was when they told him that Michael Coe, who got the start for the injured Prince Amukamara, is out now with a hamstring. He's on the sideline, but the Giants tell me he is done for the night. So cornerback Justin Tryon is now in, Al.
Exactly, Michelle. And we saw that shot of Coughlin getting the word. Tryon is a fifth-year guy out of Arizona State, 2 years in Washington, 2 years in Indianapolis, so he has some experience. But Romo figures to be looking that way with some frequency as the play clock again goes all the way down. The crowd wanted a delay, and they do get one. The crowd looking at that clock, and again.
Offense, number 9, 5 yards, still second down.
As was the case all of last year with Romo having trouble on those center snaps in shotgun, especially tonight with Costa out.
Yeah, but you've got to, it's on the quarterback to get it off on time, and so you don't want to go back to last year too often, but it was those types of mistakes. They were sitting there 2nd and 5, and now you back up and 2nd and 10. You give the pass rushers a shot.
And Romo throws, and that is caught by Ogletree, having the game of his 4-year career. 2 touchdowns tonight for Ogletree, and that is another Dallas first down.
Going right after Justin Tryon. As soon as he comes in the game, you're down to your 5th cornerback now. And really the difference in this game has been that Kevin Ogletree, with that 3rd matchup, has been able to win consistently all night. And you could tell that Romo fought for him to be the 3rd receiver. He believed in it.
7 catches, 102 yards for him. And now Murray will churn out some yardage to the 37. Well, Miles Austin, who missed a lot of time in training camp with a hamstring, he hasn't been much of a factor tonight. 1 catch. Bryant's had his moments, but Ogletree's been the man.
Now, there was so much concern losing LaRon Robinson, his 11 touchdowns he had last year, but Kevin Ogletree has said, don't worry about it. I got it. And so far, it's been his show.
2nd down and 5. And Romo with time this time and throws, and that's hauled in. Nice catch made by Miles Austin. So we're talking about Miles being quiet. He gets a little noisy and has a first down at the New York 43-yard line.
Well, let's give a little credit to Ryan Cook and Mackenzie Bernardo here up front. Over here, working against Rocky Bernard, got that solid, which gave Romo a chance to look one way and go the other. But for a guy with a bad hamstring, stretching out for this kind of a ball is tough sometimes. Good confidence builder.
Keeping the balance, running here. Tough running. DeMarco Murray for a gain of 9. A guy who clearly would have had well over 1,000 yards last season were it not for the broken ankle in December.
Well, first of all, let's give Nate Livings, the guard, a little bit of credit here. He is, other side, excuse me. He's gonna lead the way, get up on the linebacker, but watch the way that DeMarco Murray finishes this run. That's what Jason Garrett said has surprised him more than anything else. He's a speed guy, but a powerful finisher.
16 carries, 106 yards for the second-year back. And they give it to him again, and this time he's going to get stuffed in the backfield, and a flag is thrown past the line of scrimmage. Boley makes the tackle here. It was a 2nd and 1.
Offsides, 97, defense, 5 yards, good enough, first down.
Linval Joseph, and that's a first down for the Cowboys. And Dallas turning it up, rushing in the second half. Neither team was able to do anything on the ground. And now the Cowboys with 95 rushing yards in this half.
You know, that's impressive. When you take 2 new guards, now a new center, flip-flop your 2 tackles, it looked so bad in the first half. But when Romo got it opened up a little bit with those quick passes, and it looks like the Giants are wearing down a bit defensively.
Murray comes out for a breather, and Jones comes in. You got a whistle before the snap. And yet another false start, a number of them tonight.
77, 5 yards, so first down.
That's 5 of them, and 3 of them on the best of the linemen, Smith.
Yeah, and Al, one of the things that the Giants were concerned about is a guy like Rocky Bernard, who usually doesn't play more than 25 snaps during the course of a game. Well, in this game, he's probably going to have to play 50 or 60 because of the injuries to Marvin Austin and Chris Canty and Sean Rogers. And how would he hold up in the second half? And right now, you'd have to say it looks like these guys getting a little tired.
On 1st and 15. Romo buying time and spinning around and looking downfield and throws, and it's caught. And that's Austin. And Miles Austin is taken down at the 24-yard line.
I can't tell you how frustrating it is for a defense, especially in the secondary, when you've got a quarterback doing his Fran Tarkenton impersonation back there. Because there's just no way to cover everybody. Really, if he would have seen across the field, Des Bryant was standing by himself on the other sideline.
Gain of 10, that makes it 2nd down and 5. And chewing up the clock here, trying to turn it into a 2-possession lead. Clearly in field goal range, flag thrown. Murray stopped after a short gain.
Des Bryant was on the ball. He knew he had to get off, and he moved right at the snap.
Illegal shift, illegal motion.
You almost have to take them back here because a field goal does a lot of damage in this situation as well.
Illegal motion, 88, offense. 5 yards, repeat 2nd down.
And that's what they'll do, put it at the 29-yard line. If you don't gain another yard, you'd be looking at about a 47-yard field goal from here to make it a 2-possession lead. Witten on the sideline. This drive has consumed more than 5 pretty precious minutes. And that is Murray. And Murray takes the handoff, which wasn't the cleanest one we've ever seen. Romo running right into him, but Murray is able to take the handoff and turn it into a big gain to quiet this crowd. 1st down at the 13-yard line.
Linval Joseph's going to shoot down inside, and nobody is there to fill that gap. It was just a mistake on the part of the Giants. There's nothing wrong with a stunt like that, but typically that means somebody's going to be there to fill the gap, and nobody showed up, and the Cowboys took advantage of it.
Sloppy handoff, awkward, but nonetheless a 15-yard gain and 121 yards on the ground for that man, Murray, who swings to the outside. A flag again. Penalty strewn period takes it to the 11. Jason Garrett, one-time Giant, New York Giant, Princeton man.
Illegal use of the hands, 73, hands to the face. Offense, 10 yards, previous spot, repeat 1st down.
Mackenzie Bernardo, the free agent picked up from the Panthers.
It's a good call. Here we go, right here. Not the first shot, but when he gets up on the 2nd level, right there up underneath the chin. Referee saw it. Good call.
So back to the 24-yard line now. 1st down and 20. It's Tuck on the Giants sideline. Jones is the back in this set.
Another kill.
Here's that clock going all the way down again, and they get it off at 1. That patented pump fake. Another flag. What else is new? And the pass is caught for the moment by Ogletree, who gets knocked down by Justin Tryon. With a flag on nearly every play. This could be holding on Doug Free, the tackle.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Jason Pierre-Paul with a great inside move, and Free just hooked him around the neck. Well, you know, it's great to throw the ball and be efficient, but these penalties now.
Holding, 68 offense. 10 yards, previous spot, repeat first down.
Everybody's wearing down. The inside move here, you see the hook around the neck. And now the Cowboys are borderline out of field goal range for that pivotal 3 points.
12 penalties, 76 yards against Dallas. They had a first and 10 at the 14. It's now a first and 30 at the 34. And the only good news for Dallas is they're taking a lot of time off the clock. Short drop by Romo. To the outside he goes, and it is Miles Austin for the touchdown. Two Giants are there, makes the catch, cuts to the inside, and on a first and 30, the Dallas Cowboys get a 34-yard touchdown.
Tony Romo may be playing the best game of his career. Against this defense, all the signals, he's telling these guys exactly what he wants. The little yakking hands, whatever that is, means a double move against Tryon on the outside. They're in kind of a two-man coverage. They had help over the top, underneath, over the top. Antrell Roll overran it. And what a play by Miles Austin.
Well, you know you're going to find the backup's backup, and that's what he does with Tryon. As Miles Austin comes to life in the fourth quarter, Bailey's extra point is good, and the Dallas Cowboys lead the Giants by 14. Coming Tuesday, Matthew Perry returning to NBC as a sports radio host who needs a little help from his friends. You'll see it beginning next Tuesday, right here, NBC, Flatiron Building. New York, the Big Apple on this Wednesday night. Not very happy right now at MetLife Stadium because the Giants are down by 14 with Bailey sending the ball down to the 1-yard line. David Wilson, the rookie out of Virginia Tech, spilled at the 21 with 5:51 remaining in regulation. Eli trying to lead him back. Cloudless sky now in the Big Apple. Some rain today, a little rain over the past couple of days. As you look down into MetLife Stadium, where Eli will try to do it again. In the game at Dallas last year, the Giants were down by 12 with 5:41. He led them back. They're down by 14 with 5:51. What happens here? He starts with a pass to Bradshaw, and Bradshaw turns that into a 9-yard gain. Ahmad up to the 30-yard line. Going without a huddle here on 2nd down and 1.
Cowboys playing some soft coverage now. Going to force Eli to check it down. Not on this one, though. They're up in a blitz look here. Let's see if they stay with it.
The Church hanging around near the line of scrimmage. He backs into coverage. To the outside, the pass goes, and the pass is incomplete. A little hand battle going on there between Brandon Carr and Dominic Hickson. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
That's what you can do if you're Rob Ryan now. You've got corners you believe in. You've got guys you're willing to say, my guy is better than your guy. We're going to win one-on-one. And the one thing they loved about Brandon Carr was the ability to make those catches, to turn the ball over. This defense has been impressive. They've really just given up 1 touchdown in this game.
3rd and 1.
It's again.
And they run it. And a big hole for Bradshaw. Ahmad Bradshaw. Lee can't get him, and finally Claiborne does, but not until he reaches the 37-yard line. Ahmad Bradshaw through the middle on a 3rd down and 1 for 32 yards.
Yeah, and they came with a blitz off the edge, and the Giants answered with just a quick hitter up the gap. A lot of times in those zone blitzes, you come one way, you drop the other. If you can run right into the drop side, you get big plays.
No huddle again, throwing, and that pass is a little bit underthrown, looking for a flag. was Martellus Bennett. But Bennett, as we recall, in Dallas was always looking for a flag. Second and 10.
One of the problems they've had with Martellus Bennett is they say he doesn't give you great indicators of when he's going to break. A little bit of a grab, a little bit of a push, but I kind of agree with that. I didn't think that was interference either. I would have not called it.
Second and 10 at the 37-yard line. The double coverage, and go figure this one out. Victor Cruz, the big star last year, drops another one. At least 3 drops for him tonight. Third down and 10.
Makes a good move on the ball. Orlando Scandrick, man underneath, but Cruz is going to make a great adjustment. Hits him right between the 8 and the 0, and he drops it. I mean, for the New York Giants, this is not the way that they hit him right in the face mask.
Third down and 10. Manning throwing, and that's going to be caught, but short of the first down as Nix makes the catch. So the ball's going to be at the 29-yard line. Coughlin says, we're going for it. Get up there. No huddle. It's going to be 4th down and 2 with the ball at the 29-yard line. A little over 4 minutes to go.
Some confusion in the secondary here.
Oh, and then that's Kevin Booth moving. Confusion for Dallas, but the question is...
Timeout, Dallas.
Yep.
That's our second charge timeout.
Giants got lucky there because Booth started to move and would have been called for a false start. Timeout, Dallas, 4th and 2 when we come back. Not too late to play NFL.com fantasy football. You can sign up today, NFL.com/fantasy. So a timeout taken by Dallas. Now we'll see Kevin Gilbride, the offensive coordinator, his play call. Ryan's defense, huge play, 4th and 2.
They're playing soft, so you get a chance to run it if you want it here. Should be able to pick up the first down. Got him to jump.
He did. And he got the flag, and he has a free play. And they pick up the first down anyway, as that pass with DeMarcus Ware coming across the line, taken in by Cruz. Offside against Dallas, and of course they'll take the better of the two, the 5-yard penalty or a gain of
Offside,
what would be
94 defense. That penalty declined. Results will play first down.
Jim, of course, that is because ow.
Yep. So the pass to Nix picking up the first down, or Victor Cruz picking up the first down. The ball is at the 22-yard line. And Manning sliding to his left and then throws, and a little too far for Dominic Hickson. Let him a little too much, and he knows it. Second down.
Interesting, they did just the opposite of their last play. They've got the pick route, but this time they're going to throw it to the inside guy. Hickson's got him wide open, and they missed the throw. That's fairly routine right there. That one's going to make it a 1-touchdown game, and Eli sliding a little bit away, a little pressure in his face, just flat out missed it.
Brandon Carr, the corner over the middle. 3:51. The time remaining in regulation is second down and 10. Play clock at 1. It's Hickson again. This time to the 18-yard line. He's tackled there by Sean Lee. Third down. 3rd and 5 now.
Gotta go.
So Coughlin telling Hickson to get off the field. Sending in Ramses Barton, number 13 on the outside. And now you got another timeout. It's Coughlin who calls timeout. Hickson late coming out before that call. Barton came in. Tom takes a timeout. That's their second. Giants forced to take a timeout. Looked like Hickson might have been shaken up. He's trying to get off. Barton was coming into the game. He couldn't get inside the numbers though. They didn't want to sneak him down the sideline. Coughlin takes a timeout. So the Giants have 2 remaining. A 3rd down and 6. Hickson is now back in the game. And a big 3rd and 6 here. With Manning stepping up and throwing, and the catch is made at about the 12-yard line. Cruz's forward progress will be spotted at the 13, a yard shy. Brandon Carr makes the tackle, and the Giants with a 4th and 1. And they give it to Bradshaw inside, and he's going to run for the first down. Soft up front with the Cowboys that time with big spacing, and the ball is handed inside to Ahmad Bradshaw. Under 3 now, 1st and goal.
Cowboys stay soft in the secondary, but they're forcing the Giants to eat up a lot of clock here.
Water looking around on that defense, and the pass is with a flag thrown, pulled in for a touchdown by Bennett.
Might be offensive, though. This will be an interesting call.
The touchdown call was made. Who is the penalty on is the question. Martellus Bennett, the former Cowboy. Penalty-filled 4th quarter.
Definitely contact, maybe just illegal contact down the field.
Pass interference, 42 defense. That penalty decline results in a play, touchdown.
That's Barry Church with a pass interference, and with 2:36, the Giants have made it a 1-possession game again.
Martellus Bennett is just a huge receiver, and there was always a belief in Dallas that if they could ever get him involved and engaged in the passing game, let's make sure he gets both feet down here. Think so. Clearly blew in between his shoes there. And here we go.
Now Tynes to make it a 7-point game, which he does with 2:36 left on opening night. Do the Giants have another comeback in them? The Giants convert on 2 4th downs. They go 12 plays, 79 yards, 321. Bennett, in his 5th season in the league and first game as a Giant, had not scored since his rookie year.
You know, and I think you kick it deep here and take a chance with your defense. You got the 2 timeouts, you have the 2-minute warning. So as long as you can force a 3 and out, you will get the ball back.
Felix Jones is the only deep man for Dallas as they anticipate an onside kick, but I agree with you. Plenty of time left. And Jones will have a run back here from the 12-yard line. Felix Jones out to the 26-yard line with 2:31. So you look at the Cowboys, their last 8 possessions. Punt, downs, interception, and punt, but then their last 4, 3 touchdowns and a field goal.
Keep taking your shot now at Justin Tryon over here, or do you try and run the football? This has not been a good running team, although they've had a good running half, but you have to feel good about the matchup against Tryon. They go 2 tights and a fullback.
Giants have 2 timeouts, plus the clock will stop at the 2-minute warning on defense. And here goes Murray, and Murray gets taken down to the 28, and Blackburn signals for an immediate timeout. Coughlin likes to use his timeouts on the front side of the 2-minute warning, so they're down to 1 at 2:26. It'll be 2nd down and long. The Dallas Stars tonight aligning them for Tony Romo, a big night, 75%, close to 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Murray 121 on the ground, and the best night of Ogletree's career by far with 7 catches and 2 scores.
But Ogletree can't help him from there, and neither can Des Bryant. He's out there. Of course, Miles Austin making some big plays, but it looks like they're going to at least force that 2nd timeout. Here comes Austin in now. Be careful not to make the illegal substitution. The fullback Vickers out, so it looks like they're going to spread the formation a bit here.
2nd down and 9. Got to hurry to the line because the play clock's already at 5 seconds. And here's Murray, and Murray will turn it upfield, and Murray takes it to the 34-yard line behind a Witten block. That's going to set up a 3rd down and short, and the Giants will use their last timeout. So it's going to come down to stopping them pretty much on the next play.
Jason Witten, not an overpowering block by any means, but his ability to secure that inside gap and then get up on Michael Boley is really what made that play. Secured JPP, gets into Boley and sets him up now for a monster 3rd down. Looks like Blackburn's out of the game now.
Get upset. Mark Perslick into the game.
Yeah, that may make a difference too. You see the starting middle linebacker out of the game. Might decide to run it here.
All right, so it's 3rd down, Giants out of timeouts, 3rd and a short 2. Murray swings to the outside. Flag is thrown. Has the 1st down for the moment. Giants are all saying it's a hold. Dallas has already been flagged 12 times tonight. This will be 13.
82.
That's Witten, and that turns a 3rd and 2, and what would have been a 1st down into a 3rd down and 12.
There he is, right in front of you. 82. He's got hold of Antrell Roll. And that is the worst of all worlds. Take away the 1st down, would have been the end of the game, basically. And stop the clock. Got to take a shot with your hot quarterback here. You got to try to get this 1st down, I think.
And Romo throws, and that is caught. And that's Ogletree.
And guess who?
For a 1st down to the 39-yard line and taking us to the 2-minute warning and almost to a Dallas victory.
Got Justin Tryon again.
The kid from Queens, Ogletree, with the night of his career, and Dallas up by 7 at the 2-minute warning. Oh yeah, September. Michelle with an interview at the end of the game on the Wendy's postgame report. Bob, Tony, and Rodney with a look at the game from their perspective. And we will take a peek ahead to Sunday night. So the Dallas Cowboys can run out the clock. They can fly home. They will have come in here and beaten the Super Bowl champions. They will have a week and a half off. They next play in Seattle a week from Sunday. And the Giants will next play here a week from Sunday against Tampa Bay. But for the Cowboys, it has been nothing but frustration, desperation, and the rest. And tonight, Ogletree, who until recently was not really officially the 3rd receiver, that was up for grabs. And what a night he has had with 2 touchdowns, 8 catches, and he's been the star.
Well, and now think about what this does for the Dallas Cowboys offensively as Jason Witten gets back into form. Got Dez Bryant, Miles Austin on the outside. Now who do you single cover? You know, that's what the hope is, and throw in DeMarco Murray, who I thought had a brilliant game tonight, the running back. Jason Garrett talked about we have to get guys to share the burden. We can't put the whole thing on Tony Romo. Well, Tony Romo put this team on his back tonight, but he had a lot more help this evening than he had a season ago.
So for Jerry Jones, we mentioned it last year, the team he didn't want to see, I think, was us.
For several reasons.
They've been terrible on Sunday night, home and road. But I think we're back in the good graces now, at least for a month or so.
For 1 week. But, you know, Rob Ryan's defense, everything they did was right. They get the 2 new guards in, and the running game works. But the 2 corners and the move of Bruce Carter into the linebacker position gives them 2 speedy inside linebackers, 2 bump and run corners on the outside. This is a different Dallas football team.
And the Dallas Cowboys come in. They don't know about Witten with a lacerated spleen. Austin and Bryant had played so little. Ogletree had not been a character that was going to become a star in any of his prior seasons with these guys, and all of a sudden ascends tonight. Here's Garrett, whose team was coughing up lead after lead over the past year and a half. and they come in here and win it on opening night 24-17 with a Wendy's post-game report on the other side of the